comes at you in a heartbeat if you don't behave yourself. And these people are not politicians. They're leaders of men that might go into politics, but that doesn't make a politician. It makes them political leaders. So the flag up here tonight, I'll get emotional. That's got a history too. I got that flag when I was commissioned, and that flag stayed with me everywhere I went when I was in the military. That flew on my Jeep everywhere I went. It flew at my headquarters everywhere I was. So that's why I use that flag. All right, Corey, I think I'm back done. And we got a lot of people from Greene County here. Got damn few Republicans from Madison. We got Republicans from Greene and Culpeper and all around, but that might tell you something about me in Madison, because I'm too outspoken. People don't like people that are outspoken. Corey is outspoken. Now he's got a stigma on him, because I classified him as my fifth son. My fourth son is Bryce Reeves. And when I was running for office, Bryce said, I tell you what I'll do. I'll be for you or against you, whatever helps you the most. Now, when somebody makes a statement like that, you got to understand who I am. Because it could be very likely that if you say, I don't want nothing to do with him, it could help me a lot. So, Corey, come on up.
All right.
Y'all give Corey a round of
Thank you, Mountain Bill. I'm proud to be your, is it the fifth son?
Yeah.
All right. But I'm really, really proud of to have the support of you. When I first met Mountain Bill, he reminded me a little bit of Grizzly Adams, crossed with Ronald Reagan, and he's a true leader. He really is, and I just want to thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Please give him a round of applause. And for those of you who are watching this online, this is Bald Top Brewery. It's in Madison County. It's a great place. This is like a little bit like having a beer in your cabin out in the woods. I mean, it literally is. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place, and I can't taste the beer, but I'm sure that it's delicious. Well, and we've only got 5 weeks to go. 5 weeks to go. The race is completely wide open. Nobody really knows what's going to happen on June the 13th, including myself. We do think that we certainly have the wind at our back. We have momentum, where we're seeing the internal polls and what we're seeing at the doors and on the phones, is that the race is very, very rapidly closing. And it's going to be a close election, we think, on June the 13th. So my opponent released his tax plan today, making a big deal of it. He's bringing all these commercials out there. He says he wants to reduce the income tax. Look, it has to happen. But you cannot reduce substantially the income tax unless you're able also to cut spending. It cannot happen unless you're printing money like the federal government. But we can't do that in Virginia, nor should we. So let me tell you about why we need to reduce the income tax and tell you about a plan that actually will work. So some of you may know I'm the at-large chairman of the Board of Supervisors for Prince William County, which means that there are only 3 localities in the state that do this. There's a direct election for the chairman of the board. I'm directly elected by all 454,000 residents of Prince William County. It's now the second largest locality in the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth, Virginia. We just overtook Virginia Beach to become the second largest one. and it's 54% minority. It's a 60-40 Democratic district, Democratic county. I'm the only Republican who's been able to win it. Not just once, not just twice, but 4 times since 2000, and when I was first elected in a special election in 2006, and then 2007, 2011, and then 2015. As a conservative. As a conservative. And why do people continue to re-elect me? And I'll tell you why. It's because we've kept their taxes low. When I became chairman of the Board of Supervisors in 2006, the average tax bills in Prince William County were $4,141, adjusted for inflation. Today, average tax bills are $4,038. They have gone down as I've been chairman of the Board of Supervisors for 10 years. And that's despite the fact that we have the state's largest road construction program in the state. We spend more on roads than any other locality in Virginia, including Fairfax County, which is more than twice our size. We've hired hundreds of new firefighters, hundreds of new police officers, thousands, literally, of new teachers. And we've been able to keep tax bills even lower than they were 10 years ago. How do we do it? We cut spending. We cut spending. In the single year, and in the first year where I controlled the budget, we cut spending so much that the average tax bill in Prince William County went down by more than $400 in a single year. We cut everything. This is how we did it. We directed each of the department heads to come up with spending cuts. It had to be real spending cuts, not these fake ones where you can't really do it, but real ones, at 10, 20, and 30% of their budgets if they were to cut their spending. Then we selected from among those designated cuts, and we cut tax bills, so much so that average tax bills in Prince William County are, on average, 30% lower than the rest of Northern Virginia. That is what we have to do in Virginia. We're overtaxed in this state. And how do we know that we're overtaxed? Because we're losing by about 10,000 manufacturing jobs every year to states like North Carolina, Tennessee, and others, Kentucky, etc. They're leaving because if you're a small business owner, and we got small business people, how many small business owners do we have? Several of you. You pay taxes, what? At the top marginal income tax rate in Virginia. You don't pay corporate tax unless you're incorporated, and most small businesses are not. The only way that the state can give a break to small business people is to significantly reduce the top marginal income tax rate. You can't do that unless you cut spending. Now, Establishment Ed, and I call him that reason because frankly, he is the establishment, he doesn't even deny it, expects to cut your income taxes without cutting spending. It cannot be done. And when I challenged him during the last debate, I said, well, Ed, what are you cutting? And his answer was nothing. He plans to reduce income taxes by cutting nothing. He says we're going to use increased unanticipated new revenues to reduce taxes. Well, that doesn't happen. In fact, this year alone, we had a $1.5 billion shortfall. You would have to have a continued stream of surpluses each and every year to cut taxes without reducing spending. So my program, we're going to be cutting the all funds budget by 3.75% in the first year when I'm governor. And with that, we're going to be able to reduce income taxes in Virginia that all of you pay, that small businesses pay, by 17% in a single year. That brings us down. Now let me tell you why we have to be bold. Because if you're a business owner and you're in Virginia and you're thinking about leaving the state because of your income taxes, or if you're a small business owner that's looking to relocate into Virginia or a different state, You want a very strong message. The only way that we can send a strong message that Virginia is serious about building business, about bringing back jobs, is by a bold step. It can't be a slight phase-in of a reduction in the income tax. It's got to be big. And we've got to be able to tell people that not only are we're not done, not only are we going to reduce the top marginal income tax rate from 5.75% to 4.75% in a single year, but we're going to continue to reduce and ratchet down the income tax until at some point we will phase out the income tax in Virginia altogether. That is what we've got to do. But that's not the only issue, folks. And let me say something about job growth. I made Prince William County, together with the rest of the board, working with the business community, we've reduced the amount of time that it takes to open or expand a business in half. In half. And as you know, as business owners, that's very important. Time is money. We made Prince William County #1 in job growth in Virginia. We made it #3 in the United States of America. And we can do that in Virginia as well. Something that's very important, however, in the #1 job of every level of government, whether you're a local government or a state or even on the federal level, the #1 job that we have is to protect you. Protect your families, protect your lives, protect your safety, and protect your rights. So about a month ago, down in Lynchburg, a very, very violent, illegal alien gang named MS-13 abducted a 17-year-old 11th grade boy. They cut off his hands, they cut off his feet, and then they murdered him. And they dumped his body in Bedford. This is a gang which I've been battling for 10 years. It's the reason we put the policy in place in Prince William County that we did. And let me tell you something, if you think it's just a problem in Northern Virginia or Hampton Roads, you're wrong. This is a problem in Winchester, it's a problem here, it's a problem that's growing throughout the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. And the only thing that will stop MS-13 is to crack down and identify and remove criminal, illegal aliens altogether. I'm not afraid of controversy. In fact, as Mountain Bill said, I actually kind of welcome it. You know, when people are attacking you and ridiculing you, you know you're doing something right. So 10 years ago, when we had a real problem with MS-13, we used all the other localities were saying you can't do anything about it. Well, we put the policy in place. It's called 287G. And it's very simple. If you're in Prince William County and you're arrested, we check your immigration status. In fact, once you're in jail, there's a 100% check on immigration status. We don't care whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're Hispanic, or whether you're Asian. We don't care which language you speak. We don't care about your age. We care nothing about those things. We check immigration status. And to date, we have handed over to federal authorities more than 7,500 criminal illegal aliens from Prince William County. The crime rate dropped immediately. 48.7% drop in violent crime in 2 years. And all the left would say, well, first of all, they said all the things that they're still saying. You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're filled with hate. Now they're saying you're a white supremacist. I mean, all this crazy stuff that the left comes up with is absolutely nuts. But do you know how many, and they said, well, it's going to lead to racial profiling. We have 660 police officers, all of whom are responsible for implementing this policy. It's been in place for 10 years. Do you know how many cases of racial profiling we've had in 10 years in the second largest locality in the state? 660 police officers putting into place this aggressive policy? 0. That's right, none. The left has all the excuses why you shouldn't do it. There is no excuse why you shouldn't do it. It must be put in place. And when I'm governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, we are going to require every single jail in the Commonwealth of Virginia to implement the Prince William County policy, and we're going to remove criminal illegal aliens from the Commonwealth of Virginia. And finally, I want to finish up on something that's very important to me, and people ask me why I do it, and I'll tell you why. You know, what does it mean to be a Virginian? Does it mean you're born here? No. Look, what it means is that you live here in this state, you love the state, you love its history, you love its heritage. Some of us moved here because of that. A lot of us did. What makes Virginia special is our history and our heritage. And if you take that away, we lose our identity as Virginians. Now in Charlottesville, as you all probably are aware, it's just nearby, the city of Charlottesville voted to remove the statue of Robert E. Lee, which has been there since 1924. 1924. And they said that they're removing him because he fought for the Confederacy. But you know something? Robert E. Lee was an honorable man. He fought honorably for the South. He fought honorably for Virginia. He did not want to secede. And when he was asked to lead the Union armies, he said, look, I cannot draw my sword against my native state. I cannot do it. And when the war was done, he could have sat on the sidelines, embittered. Some did. He wouldn't. And when he became the president of Washington College, now Washington and Lee University, he expelled white students because they attacked black citizens. He was the reason, and the North knew this, by the way. They knew that as Robert E. Lee goes, so goes the rest of the South. So it's because of him that America was able to heal the wound of the Civil War generations before it otherwise would have happened. He is somebody to be respected, not just by Virginians, but by all Americans. And if you think that the city of Charlottesville is done after they remove the statue of Robert E. Lee, you're wrong. Because now they've said that when they're done with Lee, they're coming after Thomas Jefferson. And it won't end there. When they're done in Charlottesville, they're going to Richmond. And when they're done in Richmond, they're going to Petersburg. And when they're done in Petersburg, they're going to Williamsburg. And when they're done in Williamsburg, they're going to Alexandria and Arlington, until throughout Virginia, these monuments to great Virginians who fought, who died, and for those who were founders of our country. And then pretty soon, we've lost everything. We've lost our heritage, we've lost our history, and we've lost our identity. And that is why when I'm governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and I'm the only one in this race who has stood up to this issue, and I've taken a lot of beatings for it, by the way. I don't go on Twitter very much, but we did go on Twitter, and the next day, I don't even know who John Legend was. So he's a singer. Right? Not even a good song, by the way, but whatever. It doesn't matter to me. So he comes out there and attacks me as a racist and a bigot and all this other stuff for standing up for our history. The next thing I know, I'm getting Patricia Arquette and all these lunatic lefties coming out and attacking me. NFL players, mostly, you know, kind of has-beens, by the way, coming out and attacking me and all this other stuff. But let me tell you something. I'm not afraid to stand up to the lunatic left, or to the press, or to establishment Republicans. I will stand up, and over my dead body will we ever remove the statue of Robert E. Lee or any other Virginia hero. Yes. So we got a few weeks to go. I really need your help. I appreciate you all being here tonight. We have people making phone calls, people knocking on doors, people who are contributing to the campaign. I appreciate everything that many of you have already contributed tonight. We've just got a few weeks left. We're narrowing the gap very, very fast. This race is wide open. but together, working hard here in Madison and across Virginia, we're going to take, as we did, we took back the White House in 2016. Aren't you all proud that we have finally a real president of the United States?
Yeah.
We took back the White House in 2016, and in 2017, everybody, we're taking back Virginia. Thanks a lot.
This thing over here, duty, honor, sacrifice, and courage equals respect. I've got no greater gift to give somebody than my respect. I respect Corey, and he's kind of like a man of my own kind. He will not back down, period, from anybody or anything. He will stand strong. And one more thing, let me go get to the podium so I can get my notes together on actual date. At 3 p.m. on July 6, 1863, in Gettysburg, Virginia, General George Pickett rode down the line, and his comments to the troops were, "Remember old Virginia." And then he turned it over to Lewis Olmsted to start the charge up Cemetery Hill. And Lewis Olmsted took off his hat and put it on his table and held it up and said, "For old Virginia." So when y'all leave here tonight and think about what we, the citizens, are going to do for old Virginia in 2017. Thank you very much.